Someone started playing the drums at dawn every weekend. I pleaded, "People are sleeping." They snorted, "Not my problem." That evening, I installed outdoor speakers and timed a soundtrack of construction noises to blast directly at their house at 5 a.m. The next weekend, their drums were gone. I moved into this neighborhood in Austin, Texas about 7 months ago. It's a quiet part of South Austin, tree-lined streets, a lot of families, older folks walking their dogs, the occasional morning jogger. Exactly what I needed after years of living in loud apartments and dealing with noisy neighbors in every direction. I found a small 1950s one-story house. Big windows, shaded porch, little backyard. Just enough for me and my old rescue dog. I work from home most days, do freelance graphic design, so peace and quiet is kind of essential for my sanity and my work. For the first few weeks, everything was bliss. People were chill. I met a few of the neighbors. Mostly older folks, retirees, folks who'd lived there for decades. Everyone waved, smiled, minded their own business. I finally felt like I could breathe again. Then came the drums. The first time it happened, I thought it was a bad dream. I literally sat up in bed in full confusion, thinking I left a window open and some construction crew was breaking ground nearby. It was 6:01 a.m. on a Saturday. Nope, it was real. And it was loud. Shake the walls loud. I threw on a hoodie, stepped onto my porch, and just listened for a second, trying to figure out if maybe it was a party wrapping up or something. Then I heard it again. Boom boom bap boom. Clearly someone learning drums. Not good at them either. Just loud, awkward, rapid-fire banging with no rhythm or flow. It was coming from 3 houses down. The white 2-story house with the overgrown lawn and always a beat-up sedan parked crooked in the driveway. I waited a bit. Maybe it was just a one-off, right? Maybe the guy was hyped about new drums and decided to try them out early. Next weekend, same thing. 5:58 a.m. this time. Sunday too. Again and again. It became a pattern. Every damn Saturday and Sunday morning around 6, like clockwork. Loud-ass drumming echoing across the block. Now, I'm not a confrontational person. I usually give people the benefit of the doubt. But by the 3rd weekend, I couldn't take it anymore. My sleep schedule was wrecked. I was groggy during the week. My dog was shaking under the table every morning. I had to do something. So, I walked over there around 9 a.m. because I wasn't going to knock on someone's door at 6 a.m. even if he deserved it, and the guy who answered, man. Early 30s, tank top, sweaty, drumsticks in hand, wild-eyed like he'd been up all night. His name was Alex. I introduced myself calmly, told him I lived a few houses down, and explained the noise issue. I was polite. I even smiled. He just laughed. Actually snorted and laughed. "Not my problem," he said. "I shit you not." I stood there for a second. "Well, yeah," I said. "It kind of is. People are sleeping. You're waking up the whole block." He shrugged. "I like to start my mornings with energy. It's not that early." I reminded him it was barely sunrise. He repeated, "Not my problem. Maybe you should get earplugs." He then shut the door in my face. I stood on his porch for a moment, stunned, then walked back to my house feeling completely disrespected. Now, I'm not someone who lashes out. I don't seek revenge. But this guy, he was begging for it. So I spent the rest of the weekend thinking, planning. I didn't want to escalate too fast. But I also wasn't going to let him treat everyone like this. That Monday, I ordered 2 heavy-duty outdoor speakers. I also bought a programmable timer, one I could sync with a playlist. I already had the playlist in mind. 3 hours of pure construction sounds. I'm talking jackhammers, drills, concrete saws, hammers, backup beeps, cranes, engines revving. And I made sure it looped just in case. I installed the speakers on Thursday, hidden in my bushes, angled just right at his house. You couldn't see them unless you looked. The timer was synced to go off at 5 a.m. sharp, 1 hour before his usual drumming. I didn't tell a soul. I didn't post a passive-aggressive note. I didn't knock on his door again. I just waited. That Friday night, I went to bed early, woke up at 4:55 a.m., made coffee, sat on my porch, and waited. 5 a.m. hits, and the chaos begins. The sound of concrete being jackhammered to pieces echoes across the block. Metal clanging. Random beeps and grinding noises like someone is building a skyscraper outside. It's loud. It bounces off the houses and hits Alex's with full force. 5:02 a.m. I see his upstairs light turn on. 5:04 a.m. his front door swings open. He's in a robe, stumbling outside, looking around like he's in a war zone. He stares directly at my yard. I give him a small wave and sip my coffee. He yells something. I can't hear him over the sound of the jackhammer. I go back inside. The noise keeps going till 8 a.m. Then it shuts off. Saturday? Same thing. Sunday? Yep. I kept the schedule for the next 3 weekends. Every single time, right at 5 a.m. Never said a word to him. And let me tell you, by week 2, the drumming stopped completely. He was done. The funny part? A few neighbors started thanking me. Not directly, just casual conversations. Hey, haven't heard the guy drumming lately, or something changed, huh? They knew. But nobody said a word. Everyone just appreciated the silence. And the best part? I wasn't even close to finished. So, after 3 weekends of my little morning surprise, the drums were officially gone. Just silence. I thought that was it. I thought I won. I even stopped the construction noise after that 3rd weekend. Didn't want to push it too far. I got what I needed. Peace and quiet. Justice. No more 5 a.m. chaos. I was wrong. So wrong. Because about a week later, weird stuff started happening. Started small. One morning, I walked out to find my trash can tipped over. Bags ripped open. Garbage all over my driveway. Could have been raccoons, right? Sure. Except the can was upright when I took it out the night before. And the lid was latched. I always latch it. Then my mail went missing. Not all of it, just some pieces. Like someone was picking through it. I found a water bill opened and stuffed halfway into my bushes. Next day, someone poured birdseed across my front step. Not a little either. Like half a bag. It rained that night and turned into a gross, sticky mess. But I didn't confront him. Not yet. No proof. I decided to play it smart. I bought a cheap motion camera off Amazon. Stuck it in one of my potted plants on the porch. It was hidden but had a clear view of the front steps and part of the street. I synced it to my phone and waited. A few days later, 3:17 a.m. motion alert. I checked the footage. It's Alex. Creeping up to my porch in a hoodie, dumping something from a bag onto my mat. Then sprinting away like a little kid ding-dong ditching. I rewind the video a few seconds. Yep, definitely him. Clear as day. He dumped cat litter. Used. I wanted to march over and show him the footage, but I didn't. Not yet. This wasn't about noise anymore. This was personal now. A guy who plays drums at dawn and laughs when people ask him to stop, fine, annoying. But sneaking around in the dark and leaving crap on someone's porch? That's another level. So I stepped it up. I ordered a second motion camera. This one had night vision and covered the side of my house. I also bought a little motion-triggered sprinkler system, the kind meant for keeping deer out of gardens. I set it up under the bushes right next to where he would sneak in. Covered it in mulch to hide the hose. Set it on max sensitivity. If a squirrel farted, it'd go off. Next night? 3:06 a.m. motion alert again. I check the camera. It's him. He's crouching, trying to sneak under the window. Right where I buried the sprinkler. Boom. Whoosh. The sprinkler nails him in the chest like a fire hose. He yells, falls back, slips in the wet grass, and books it down the street soaking wet. I laughed so hard I nearly dropped my phone. But the next morning I noticed something new. Someone had keyed the side of my car. For long, deep lines across the driver's side door. That's when I saw red. I reported it. Filed a police report. Showed them the camera footage of him on my property messing with my porch. They nodded, took notes, told me they'd look into it. But unless I had footage of him actually scratching the car, they couldn't do much. That night, I knocked on Alex's door for the first time since this whole thing started. He answered, shirtless, looking smug. "You scratched my car," I said flatly. He smirked. "Prove it." "I have you on camera dumping garbage on my porch," I replied. "Want me to show the cops again?" "Cool," he said. "You think that'll make me stop?" That's when I realized something. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. He was enjoying this. He liked the back and forth. Like it was a game. So I changed the rules. After that last talk with Alex, it was clear. He wasn't just being annoying anymore. This was war. The kind where you don't throw punches, you throw chaos. And the worst part? He liked it. I stopped playing nice. I went quiet. Didn't react. No more sprinklers. No more speakers. Nothing obvious. I wanted him to think I gave up. But while he got comfortable again, I started planning. I knew from neighborhood gossip that Alex was renting the place. Some cousin's name was on the deed, not his. And that house? It was not up to code. Overgrown lawn. Broken fence. Paint peeling. Satellite dish hanging by a thread. Our neighborhood has an HOA. Not a super intense one, but strict enough. They mostly send letters if your grass is too tall or if your trash can't stay out too long. So I made a little anonymous spreadsheet. Took photos of his yard, his busted gutter, the junk car that hadn't moved in 6 months. Mailed it directly to the HOA with a polite note, concerned neighbor here. Just thought you should know what's going on at his address. Then I waited. It didn't take long. 2 weeks later, the house got hit with 5 separate citations. Lawn, exterior damage, unauthorized satellite, unregistered vehicle, trash bins left out. Each one carried a small fine. Nothing crazy. But they stacked. Fast. And then came the twist. One morning, I spotted a new face at the house, a woman, maybe mid-40s, sharp ponytail, clipboard in hand. She wasn't a cop. She was something worse. She was the landlord. I didn't know her name, but I'd seen her show up twice more that week. First yelling at Alex on the porch, then walking around the yard with a camera and a guy in work boots. Turns out Alex hadn't told her about the HOA fines, or the state of the house, or the damage he'd done inside. Apparently, he'd been late on rent too. That's when things got messy for him. A letter showed up taped to his door. 3 pages. Bright red sticker at the top. Notice to vacate. I didn't celebrate. Not yet. Because just 2 nights later, something weird happened. 2:22 a.m. Motion alert. This time, the camera caught 2 people. One was Alex. The other? No idea. Tall, hoodie, face turned away. They walked down the side of my house. One held something, a jug. I couldn't see clearly until they got to the porch. Then I saw it. Gasoline. They poured it across my driveway. Not near the house, just the concrete. But still. The smell was clear in the video. One flick of a lighter and things could have gone bad. Really bad. They didn't light it, though. Just poured it. Stood there for 10 seconds. Then ran. That was it. No more games. I called the cops, handed over everything, the camera footage, the license plate from his friend's truck, thankfully captured as they drove away, timestamps, and my full report. Cops took it seriously. Finally, they opened a case. Came by the next day for statements. Marked the driveway. Collected evidence. I gave them everything. Later that week, Alex was arrested. Not for the drums. Not for the garbage. But for attempted arson. His friend too. Word spread fast through the neighborhood. People suddenly remembered all the things they noticed about Alex. His wild parties. The loud music. The night someone's tires got slashed. No one proved it back then. But now, yeah. It was like everyone had a story, but no one had spoken up. Until now. The landlord changed the locks. Hauled junk out with a crew. Tossed everything that wasn't claimed. The drums? Gone. That broken sedan? Towed. But here's the kicker. Even after Alex got arrested, the revenge wasn't done. Because the Real story started once the news broke, and the neighborhood got dragged into it too. So yeah, Alex got arrested. He was charged with attempted arson, trespassing, and property damage. His buddy got hit with the same. They didn't set anything on fire, but the intent was there. Police had video. Gas can. The works. I thought that was the end. I was wrong again. About a week after the arrest, I got a letter in the mail. No return address. No postage. Just shoved into my mailbox, hand-delivered. The paper was crumpled. It was short. You think you won. You made it worse. Watch your back. No name. No signature. Just that. I showed the cops. They added it to the case but said without fingerprints or a witness, it didn't change much. But I knew where it came from. It had Alex's tone all over it. For the next few days, I slept with one eye open. Checked the cameras 5 times a night. Bought new locks. Even got a motion alarm for my backyard. But nothing happened. A few more weeks passed. Alex didn't post bail. His cousin, the landlord, changed her number. Nobody had seen his friend either. It all went quiet again. Too quiet. Then the fallout hit. See, what I didn't expect was how the HOA reacted once they realized what happened. They weren't happy. Not just with Alex, with the whole block. Especially me. Apparently, my speaker stunt? Not exactly legal. HOA had rules about sound pollution and targeted noise disturbances. And while I didn't get fined before, someone on the board reviewed the whole situation and decided I had escalated a personal conflict using unauthorized equipment. I got hit with 3 citations of my own. One for the speakers, one for aggressive landscaping, they didn't like my hidden sprinkler. And one for unneighborly conduct. Yes, that's a real thing in their bylaws. I appealed it. I fought back. But rules were rules. Had to pay the fines. Hundreds of dollars. Plus, the whole neighborhood now knew I was the one who blasted construction sounds at 5 a.m. for 3 weekends straight. And people had opinions. Some neighbors loved it. Said I gave Alex what he deserved. But others, the quiet ones, the older couples who didn't like conflict, they didn't say it out loud. But I saw it in their eyes. Cold looks. Less smiles. One lady crossed the street to avoid walking past my house. I became the guy who started the war. Even though I thought I was just defending my peace, I had to admit, I went hard. And it cost me. Eventually, Alex pled out. Got probation, fines, and a restraining order. Couldn't come near my house or even step on the street again. His friend? Same deal. He vanished after that. Moved out of state, supposedly. The house got fixed up, painted, resold to a young couple. They're quiet. Keep to themselves. Wave when I walk by. Peace finally returned. But even now, sometimes I wake up early on Saturdays. Not because of noise, just habit. I sit on the porch with coffee and listen to the quiet, and I think about how things spiraled. All I wanted was to sleep. Instead, I got a man arrested, got myself fined, got half the neighborhood pissed off, and ended up with more anxiety than I had in the city. I don't regret defending myself. I regret how far it went. Revenge feels good until the smoke clears and you're left standing in the silence, wondering if you crossed a line you can't walk back from. Because sometimes when you fight fire with fire, you just burn down the whole damn street.